Hello, this is Dr. Lewerenz here at Longevity Health Institute in my Bingham Farms office in southeastern Michigan. Thought I would bring you some things that are interesting and something very simple, but you're going to pick up some things here that I potentially talk about in other videos, but I really want to share with you some things that are so simple and they improve the quality of life always, and they're so meaningful in your life and in prevention. Okay, couple things is this. I had a patient recently and this was earlier in the week, come in, a new patient, and brought her father. She was his medical director, if you will, and medical advisor, and had power of attorney. He wasn't that unwell per se. He had Parkinson's disease and newly diagnosed about 6 months ago. And she has had family members seeing us at Longevity Health Institute and brought him in for a help and assessment and quality and better function and what can we do. We know he's got Parkinson's and that. But I found it interesting, and I've had a few other patients like this, and I firmly believe this. And something that her approach was, she said, "Can I talk to you out in the hall?" So I stepped out of the exam room and talked to her face to face without him. And she said, "I don't like to say and don't like to claim, and we don't like to use Parkinson or say he has Parkinson's. We like to say he has some symptoms that are Parkinson-like, and he's well aware that he's been diagnosed with Parkinson's." This is not denial. This is talking about ownership and identity, and owning a disease and not allowing it to be you and encompass you and be a whole in what you exist and what you are, okay? And it goes to mindset, and that's what I want to talk to you about today, okay? Because mindset is a lot, if not everything. But so I said, no problem at all. I get it, okay? We don't want to own a disease. We don't want to own a label and the connotations and the negativity and the dark cloud that brings that, okay? Because the psychology and the psyche and the autonomic response and the visceral and the immune response that happen when we actually have ownership of a disease and a label can do bad things to us, okay? Especially if you have potentially the wrong mindset or potentially even some other things going on with you from an immune standpoint. So we go back in the room, we proceed in how we can help this gentleman who is about 64, 65. He actually took an early retirement because of this. And he had a side business, but he worked on the line for a number of years in the automotive industry. And his biggest thing was this: he wants to have better strength and better stability, because gait and stability and walking and that, he was using a cane mostly for stability, was his biggest issue with his Parkinson-like symptoms, right? And he wanted to actually have some better energy and strength, and he wanted to make sure that his disease or his condition wasn't going to progress. But again, what will we do with him? From a prevention, a functional, getting deep into why he might have this, is we will get into looking at toxins and heavy metals, possible exposures he had on the line at his automotive job for years. But we will also look at functional things that we can optimize, like his diet, like his nutrition, like his cofactors and peptides in his body that are helping feed a good immune response and strength and integrity in his body so that he can have a better walk and a better gait in that. And fortunately for him, his mental beings, his memory and his recall and such has not been affected yet. Now we're going to do some dive deeps into his brain function, okay? But per what they report, his memory and such has not been affected with Parkinson's. But again, we're going to do some tests on that stuff to make sure that we can optimize it. The other thing that we're going to do is make sure that he doesn't have heavy metals, doesn't have chemicals, toxin exposure in it. And if he does, we get it out of him. And we have methods to do that very effectively, very efficiently, and very safely. so that we can at least remiss or slow down the progress of his stability and his gait and his neurologic stuff related to Parkinson's. But again, what I loved is the mindset, the non-ownership of a condition that has a negative connotation that can often affect the brain and the whole system, okay? When you think about it, yes, it matters what your diagnosis is. Yes, it matters what you have. But the fact of the matter is, from a functional, from a physiologic standpoint, what you have makes no difference. Zero difference. What you come to your doctor with, and what you come to us with, at least, at Longevity Health Institute and a functional, personalized medical practice, okay, that's specialized in this, makes no difference to us. The reason is because it's the physiology, it's the way your body works that we care about and what we want to know and what we want to fix. Because if we can understand the why and the how it happened, we can talk about fixing it, stabilizing it, improving it, and reversing it. And that's what you really get down to about when we say thriving, not just surviving, okay? So mindset is everything, okay? And I love that story because in a mindset, it's a choice. That is a choice to be like that, to have that kind of mindset. It is a choice to be happy. It is a choice to wake up and think of the positivity, not the negativity. It is a choice to think of what you have and what you don't have. It's a choice, though, for him to get up every day and be motivated and be positive and not just be labeled and live. And that's his identity, now a condition like Parkinson. I love that. I love that. And that will actually help him. That will help him potentially more than even we can help him. Okay? The other thing is, the other stories I want to share, this is a gentleman I just saw today here in Bingham Farms. And he came all the way, he flew in from New York. He's been struggling from really issues that I fully understand, but in his story, seeing about 5-6 doctors, mostly on the East Coast and in New York and upper state New York, and he wasn't getting an answer. Or the answer he got was like, well, we think you have this, and and then, yeah, you probably got some anxiety related to it and that. But what happened with this gentleman is, he, at the end of his college years playing football on a football team in upper state New York, and going to school and having a little side job in the summer and having a girlfriend and stress and all this stuff, he out of nowhere developed actually a stress response. I can explain why I know it's that, but in an immune response, he started developing actually hives, rashes, skin pains, things on his body that just came out of nowhere. And in his last summer season training, in his preseason of football, it got really bad. And no doctor could really help him or give him an answer. And I'm gonna give you the fast forward here, but he, after multiple visits and trying to figure this out, he was diagnosed with maybe chronic urticaria, which I have videos on this and can explain, but it's an autoimmune response where your skin reacts with all these hives and rashes and pains and skin sensitivity, and it can be triggered by stress responses and heat and food triggers and the sun. So there's a lot of stimulus. I don't want to get into too much about chronic urticaria, but it is an immune response, and it's technically an autoimmune response, and this just came out of him out of nowhere. This is a healthy young gentleman, finishing college, playing sports, working a job, getting a degree. He has a job now, he's working. But this was, by the way, when this started, it was 2.5 years ago. So he ends up here today from New York 2.5 years later with improvements, but really no firm diagnosis. He continued to have these rashes and hives and reactions. He continued to have muscle aches and pains and inflammation. He also, that led into fatigue and worry and stress. He actually got so stressed out that he said he actually started feeling like, am I going nuts? And he questioned his own, mental stability. They wanted to put him on an SSRI, an antidepressant. He's like, but I'm not really depressed, but maybe I am, but because of what's going on. He again was an athlete, so he's working out, so he quit working out. He tried some dietary changes in that. Because of that, he lost all his mass from football. He went down about 30 pounds. So I'm seeing him today, 30 pounds less. And basically what he still has is, fatigue, chronic urticaria. I discovered he also has tinea versicolor, which is a skin condition, another autoimmune potential like skin condition is based on yeast, okay? But the interesting thing, he goes, but doc, I gotta tell you, the last 3 months, 2-3 months, I did something with my diet and it seems to really help, okay? And I also just said to myself, I can't stay and I can't live like this, and so I'm pushing forward and I'm being positive and I'm trying to do some more and I'm trying to just have a different outlook on this, okay? He goes, because honestly, this is no way to live. In fact, honestly, in the visit, he said about a year ago, he said, I actually said to myself, if I can't get rid of this and figure this out, these are his words, in the next few years, I'm ready to kill myself. Those were his words. He was that beat up, down, depressed from it, okay? So what he said, and this is what the beauty is, and it goes back to mindset. He goes, but I said to myself, I'm just gonna start going forward. I'm just gonna start, going to the gym a little bit, even if it's a little by little. I'm gonna eat real clean, a keto kind of diet. I'm gonna clean up all the sugars and all the kind of processed foods there. But I'm just gonna start slowly going forward in some things. And if I have pain, I'll try to work through it a little bit, but I'm just gonna, try to, be better and think better. And again, that's a choice. That is a choice. Being happy and getting a positive reaction and looking at something positively, okay, is a choice, okay? And I'm telling you, even in his situation, and in his scenario, that he has an autoimmune disease, that he has a condition that we have to fix, that it's why 5 doctors couldn't fix him, okay? But he's made a difference in his own 2 months by just the mental change, okay? But we have a choice to make a difference and be happy and move forward and to try to be positive. And it can affect your immune system and it can help you heal. And that's what I want to stress to you here, okay? He made the choice to put one foot in front of the other and be positive, okay? Mindset is literally that, mindset. You have to set your mind, okay? When you set your mind, things happen, things improve, okay? And I firmly believe in energy concept, and good energies flow to better energy and better things, and good things happen, okay? And God and higher powers and all that want that for you, okay? But it starts with you inside, not what's outside and waiting for happiness and waiting for good things, okay? You have to make it happen. You have to seek it, okay? And you have to choose it, all right? This gentleman will be fine, actually, from New York, because he has gut issues. He has leaky gut. He has an autoimmune response at his digestive barrier, which I've covered in other of my videos here. And you can look up chronic urticaria or leaky gut or candida and follow that or watch those videos, and hopefully that helps you and others. But I want to stress to you, he is healable, because we'll heal his gut. We'll do things with him with peptides and diet and amino acids and probiotics and that, and we'll heal his gut. And we're going to look at his adrenals, and we're going to make sure he doesn't have toxins and that he can detoxify, because I do believe he also has some adrenal stuff and he's not detoxifying well. But the base of his condition is based in his gut health and his diet, okay? But that kind of mindset will speed and improve his healing, okay? He's made that much of a difference of his own, and we're just going to be the cherry on top. So hopefully that enlightens you, okay, about being positive, being happy, making a choice, okay? Let's live to the fullest. Let's thrive, not survive. And yes, we will guide you and we will help get you there, but it's your choice. Be well. This is Dr. Lewerenz.